This is a Dragon Blazer production.
Coming soon to a podcast near you.
Jump back. Twist the bones and bend the back.
Back in 1693, the people of Salem, Massachusetts,
Witches!
Yes?
thought they got rid of the Sanderson sisters for good.
We shall be back!
300 years later, it's Halloween Eve, and they're back.
We're home!
Are you boys a little old to be trick-or-treating?
We're talking about 3 ancient hags versus the 20th century. How bad can it be?
Now they're digging up old friends and running amok, looking for the one thing they miss most.
Who stay for supper?
I'm not hungry.
But we are.
Only one boy has the power to stop them
Prepare to die again!
You have no powers here, you fool!
before all Salem falls under their spell.
Hello, you!
Walt Disney Pictures presents Bette Midler,
Hello?
Sarah Jessica Parker,
Would thou dance with me?
and Kathy Najimy. Hocus Pocus.
Into the night!
They love to fly, and it shows.
Good night. Sleep tight. No screaming.
So, hello and welcome to another new episode of Coming Soon to a Podcast Near You. I'm, of course, your host, Stevie Blaze, and as always, this is my co-host, the Sanderson brother, Xavier Sanderson.
And Toto Todoroki, as usual, just sitting right next to me for comfort and mobility, and
He's just
not mobility, but just a bunch of comfort after what you've done.
what I've done.
He's my precious. What the frick, man? First I'm like, I'm Roxanne, no, Roxanne, Roxy's, whatever her name is, this 8th evil X. Now I'm just. Is this close enough? I don't know. Now I'm like another one of these. I mean, I guess I am I'm not that weird. I'm not overreacted full. Bleh, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. We should definitely acknowledge a few things before we get into this. For one thing, our layout is very much different in a lot of ways. A lot has changed since the Iron Man 2 podcast.
Everything has changed.
Everything has changed. We're still doing all the Halloween movies. We're still doing this movie. Of course, that's kind of what we're doing here for. You see the thumbnail, you see the video title, nothing's changed. We're still doing this one, the sequel, and Chucky. And then, of course, all the regular watch movies like that. Only now, what?
Oh, I was just about to say what you're about. Yeah, go ahead.
For one thing, we're no longer technically doing a synopsis. It's going to be more like a summary. We're also adding a little bit more on here. On top of that, videos are going to be uploaded on Monday and not recorded on Monday because, let's be frank, our recording process is never consistent because we just don't have a very consistent schedule. So All we can do is upload on Wednesday, on Monday, and by we I mean you because you have all the stuff, and I have my voice, I have my art skills, and I do this stuff. Except for you, who you still don't have the hat on. But
I'll put it on here in a
that's
minute.
evil. Okay, yeah.
He'll eventually wear a hat.
This is awkward then.
Another new thing is we're doing a little bit of a change with the format on the Disney movies and the Marvel movies. We are diving into the multiverse of both. So with the Disney movies, what did we decide? 3 movies?
Every 3 movies.
Every 3 movies, we are going to add
3, not 30.
We're going to throw in a multiverse movie of Pixar for Disney. We're going to throw in a Pixar movie for Disney.
Nice transition.
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 So our next movie for the Disney slate is going to be Toy Story 1. So we're just going to throw those in there as well.
We're still watching Fantasia because Fantasia is the 3rd movie in the in our Disney watch. But instead of Thor at the end of the month that we're gonna watch, actually, we're gonna record in November because everything's changed. Instead of Thor, we're gonna be watching X-Men.
Yes, we're gonna start doing the multiverse because, and part of this is because the movies from X-Men, and we're also going to do Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other Marvel movies that may show up in the multiverse of the MCU. We've already had X-Men character show up in the MCU. We have already had different Spider-Men come in the last Spider-Man movie.
Chances are, by how things are going with X-Men, Spider-Man, like every 3 Marvel movies, we're probably going to get to No Way Home before we've probably even watched Spider-Man 3, to be honest. Maybe we would have watched Spider-Man 3 by then.
I think we're not going to go just X-Men movies. So we're going to be like jumping. We're going to do like X-Men 1, and the next time we do the multiverse, we're going to do a Spider-Man movie. And then the next time, either another X-Men, or we could do another, because Marvel's made quite a few movies throughout the years. You got a Daredevil movie that came out. You've got a couple Ghost Rider movies that have come out. You have quite a few Punisher movies that have come out.
Yeah, but I think we should still set a bar so that all these movies aren't like piled into one thing.
But we also have like Deadpool.
I thought we agreed to make Deadpool a separate thing.
Did we? Is that still a Marvel?
As well as Fantastic Four, stuff like that.
I guess for now we're gonna focus on X-Men and Spider-Man. We're gonna rotate between X-Men and Spider-Man, and because they have officially shown up in the MCU, so it makes sense to try to get them in there, so you have a little bit of an understanding if you're watching with us of who these characters are when they show up in the MCU.
But more importantly, there's much more important stuff, and not a thing about Hocus Pocus. God forbid we actually talk about that, the movie that we're reviewing, but trivia. I looked up some. I told the audience and you on the last podcast for Iron Man 2 that which rhymes that I'd do trivia in 2023. Well, that has changed because a lot has happened in the last week or so, and a lot of that basically dials down to us talking about how this is going to go, what's going to happen, and for now, we've got trivia, we've got a shortened synopsis, and we've got crap to do.
We're gonna try to we're gonna try to start doing these movies where we focus more on us just talking about what we liked about the movie and our opinions on the movie, and less about what you just watched. Odds are you also watched it with us.
Yeah, because you probably watched it too, and that's what I've been trying to tell you all these months, kind of, actually. Maybe subtly, maybe not subtly enough. I don't know. But I like guilting you about crap, so that's the joke.
All right. Well, let's first things first. Let's talk about what this movie was. We watched Disney's 1993, was it? 93, 94?
93 something.
Hocus Pocus. This is a movie about the three Sanderson sisters, who, this is a nice family fun affair where these three sisters, after kidnapping and murdering a child, pisses off the town in 1770s, I believe it's 70s, during the Salem witch trials.
Yeah, they get crucified a little bit.
Crucified, they get hung. In this nice family-friendly movie. Hungsified?
They get hungsified.
In this nice family-friendly movie, the Sanderson sisters are hung by the villagers for, and I must reiterate, murdering a child. A young child, so they can be young again. And they had some old makeup on to make it look like they're older than they are. You could really tell a difference with Sarah Jessica Parker's character. Not as much with the other two, but the hot blonde one looked very different, older.
Love how you call her the hot blonde one. She's very sadistic. Kind of.
Her entire character arc is being hot. That's almost her power, and we'll talk about that a little bit more.
What do we call it her character arc? Because things change during a character arc. I don't think she really changed.
That's her whole character trait. That is her trait. Because she uses her attractiveness to seduce people. That's like her whole thing. Yeah. She, the other two are a little scarier. She's just beautiful, and she uses that to trick people.
Which she does pretty well at, actually. She's the charisma of the otherwise low intellect, low mentally strength girly girls. Girly girls, yeah. These are girly girls now.
So
they're not just girls. They're very much girls. They're like high quality or something.
So after they get murdered in the 1700s during the Salem witch trials, a virgin dumbly lights their black candle because they'd made a spell before they got hung, and he lights a candle that brings them back to life in like current day 90s at the time. And so they come back to life. They're resurrected 300 years later. And then they go back on their mission. They have one day before the next day. They have Halloween night is the only time they're allowed to be alive, unless they can kidnap children and steal their youth. So this whole movie, this trio of witches that everybody seems to love, because this is a very beloved cult classic movie. Your favorites are literally trying to murder the crap out of children to steal their youth so they can be beautiful and stay alive.
And they're adorable, so it's okay.
It's adorable killers of children. And they succeed. They succeed. And it's not like you have these bumbling villains that never actually succeed in killing a child. The very first scene is them killing a child. She's dead. We see her ghost later. And so, yes, they succeed, or they try to take all the children and bring them back so they can steal their youth. And they are stopped by 3 kids.
I like to think that that kid at the beginning of the movie was maybe a Jedi because her ghost is visible by everybody.
Sure.
Anyways, so hold on. I hope this doesn't take me away from the. Yeah, it's gonna take my face away for a second, but this is the only way I can really. Okay, can you still hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. Because this is the only way I can look at my notes. Look at the things that I wrote down for the changes to this podcast. So we got intro, we got useless trivia before the brief summary and summary stuff. Okay. I don't know if we agreed on all this though. So we'll just have to I guess we're kind of just going with the flow in the most part, but we like consistency. We definitely like a lot of consistency that we should probably.
This is all new, so there's no consistency yet.
Of course, but it's a useful thing to develop so that people know what to expect.
You're trying to say structure.
Structure. I like that word. That is my favorite word now. Structure. What a fun thing to say. I should write a song about it.
All right, well, go ahead and hit me with your 3 trivia questions.
All right. Woohoo! Okay, that was a weird noise I made. Okay, so here's how this works. I have 3 trivia questions, which which were kind of rushed, and it's gonna come across that way. But any other day, one or more of these questions would have something pertaining to the movie, and all the other ones would have something subtly pertaining to the movie, sort of like with Cinematra in a way. But all 3 of these questions will have more difficulty recurring difficulty. It rises difficulty kind of. Okay. So first question, and don't look at your wallet on this one. Whose face is on the $10 bill?
Okay, this has nothing to do with movies.
I already told you this, Father. We've just went over this.
$10 bill. Isn't that Benjamin Franklin? No, he's on the 100, isn't he? Andrew Jackson.
That's your last will and testament?
I mean, yes.
No, it's Hamilton.
Oh, Alexander Hamilton, my bad.
Okay. What language, the second question, what language is the most spoken aside from English? Because apparently English is the most spoken language, mostly because of how many people have it as a second language, I guess. What is the non-English most spoken language?
I'm torn. I know.
Torn?
I'm torn between 2. So I know Spanish is used a lot, at least in our world. Like a lot of Spanish is used in America, but I think, and I'm basing this more on the fact that there is higher population, I'm thinking it's Mandarin or Chinese. So I'm going to go Chinese or Mandarin. I think it's called Mandarin, technically.
That is correct. It is Mandarin, which I'm willing to bet that Mandarin and Chinese are different. I don't know that. I put down Mandarin because that's what showed up on Google.
No, I believe Mandarin is Chinese. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Last question. You can give me a close number, because I know that chances are you're probably not gonna get the exact number. But here's a lovely number question. What is the speed of light in miles per hour? Not per second, but per hour.
27 billion.
Not even close. 671 million.
Gotcha. All right. We are back. So a couple things. Hocus Pocus. If you would like to watch this and you haven't watched it already,
It would be an interesting instrument to play while drunk.
sure.
Continue.
Hocus Pocus is on Disney Plus. You can watch Hocus Pocus on Disney Plus right now. And this movie came out on July 16th, 1993.
That was my brother's date of birth.
Directed by Kenny Ortega. And it stars Sarah Jessica Parker as Sarah Sanderson, Bette Midler as Winifred Sanderson, and Kathy Najimy as Mary Sanderson. We also had other important characters. Omri Katz as Max Dennison, Thora Birch as Danny Dennison, the 9-year-old girl, and Vanessa Shaw as Allison. And Sean Murray does the voice of Thackeray Binks, the cat. So yeah, this was a fun movie. I do like the witches. They are overacting everything, and it's fantastic.
It is, yeah.
Hearing Bette Midler goes, "Sisters!" like it is hilarious.
Look at this lake. No, it's firm.
I definitely see why this movie has such a huge following and people loving this movie at Halloween time.
I'm glad we could have watched this with Raina. I'm pretty excited for the sequel. I don't know if she is, because she was like, oh, they turned from a comedy to like the serious mystery thing. It was kind of the serious mystery thing in the first one too, but like it became more of like a comedy once they showed up. It may or may not be the same thing with the sequel, but but like open minds. It's time to have an open mind with the sequel to a movie that came out in the 90s. People don't tend to have an open mind with movies that have a sequel like 30 years later, which this was 1993 or 94. When did you say this came out?
July 16th, 1993.
So,
so
29 years.
That would have been many years before, mind you, but that was on your brother's birthday if he was alive in 1993.
That is what I said.
Yeah.
I mean, before we started recording, but yes. I just wanted to let you know I had the credit of remembering that what July 16th is. Meanwhile, I have a more important birthday, which it's on a Green Day album nobody knows or remembers, but whatever.
All right. Well, I guess first things first, Xavier, did you like this?
Yes.
Yes. That's all?
Yes.
You liked it.
I did like this movie.
I also really liked this. I thought this
So
was
much
a
I
really
don't
fun
know that.
movie. This is definitely a movie I wouldn't mind watching every Halloween. It's not one that has been on my watch every Halloween, but it was fun. It was entertaining. It's right up there with my favorite Halloween movies. Nightmare Before Christmas is definitely one of my favorite Halloween movies.
Yeah, I know you said that we're probably not going to do like rewatches from the Juvenile Jurisdiction of Judgment.
At least not
but,
yet. I mean, we're literally just starting this back up now. We've gone a little bit further, but
I know.
this
But
is
I'm wondering how what's going to happen once we get to like Back to the Future, because we watched the first one in Juvenile Jurisdictions of Judgment. We did not watch any of the other ones. I'm wondering if we're gonna do that sooner or if we're gonna do that later.
Maybe.
The fact of the matter is, in 2022, we only have like one random movie watch left that we're doing. That's in November. So.
I do have a thought.
You have a thought? Finally? Wow.
I'm gonna punch you.
THOT. Thought. Thoughtus begonicus.
No, I'm not a thought. A thought. We could would completely change the whole schedule that you just completely made. We could have so you know how we have Disney movies, Marvel movies, and then
Star
Wars movies.
Yes, we've discussed this.
We could consider a fourth category in between all these movies and between the randoms. And that fourth category could be designated to movies with sequels. So but the rule would be it can only be a trilogy. So if it's got more than 3 movies, then it doesn't count. So for example, Harry Potter wouldn't count. There's a lot more Harry Potters than 3. But like Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 would count. Maybe 4. Maybe because there are some movies like Indiana Jones has a trilogy, but then it has 1 extra movie. So we could have one that's
we already got like a category for random movies designated for movies that we've already watched that have sequels, like a sequel category. Was the most recent one we added for stuff like once we get into like I don't know.
I know we added that. I'm just saying that instead of that, maybe we could do something like this where we focus on sequels, like the trilogy of movies, and then we're like
Spider-Man
automatically changing. So Spider-Man's already added into the multiverse. We don't need that. We don't need to add Spider-Man. I know it's a trilogy, but that's going to be done with our multiverse thing, so we don't have to throw it in this. I'm saying
it's
just
take so long.
I mean, are you in a hurry?
Yes, I love Spider-Man.
I do too, but we could have a whole section. Just a thought. We could have whole sections of, instead of just doing one movie, we do a trilogy of movies, and then with that section, we're always changing the types of movies. We do one quick trilogy, and then after 3 movies, boom, we're on another trilogy. See what I'm saying? There's a lot of trilogies out there.
But keep in mind as well, like if we add a 4th category on top of that, then it's going to make the
other ones take longer. I'm aware. I'm not worried about that. We're doing this to have fun.
I am. We are doing this to have fun, but like,
it's a thought. We don't have to decide now. We don't have to do it now. You brought up Back to the Future, and that would be a perfect example of something we could do that has 3 movies. Back to the Future.
I feel like that could be something we could do, like a special thing, keep in mind there's also stuff like we get to like Back to the Future, and if we do want to do a sequel, we could wait for a sequel category, we could wait for like an 80s movies category, we could wait for I don't think we have any time travel movie categories, but that would be an interesting category to do.
We could totally add that. That's kind of a good genre. There's a lot of movies that deal with time travel. And we can include movies like Groundhog Day, where they keep repeating the same.
That's like a loop, kind of.
Yeah, but it deals with time.
I guess.
They could be time movies.
Yeah. And then there's movies I feel like you know how a lot of YouTubers tend to do this thing where wait, are we recording?
Yes.
Okay, oh yeah, I forgot. um my brain kind of just went in weird. You know how like YouTubers um do like something special whenever they reach like a what's it called? A milestone. Like you have 200 subscribers now. Like 1,000 subscribers is good, but it's not considered like a YouTuber milestone. Stuff like 100,000 or 10 or a million or 10 million, stuff like that, is usually considered a milestone. Which, if we do this enough, there's a possibility. We could give people motivation to subscribe to your channel, but that is a thought. That is a non-THOT thought.
Anyways, let's get back to this movie. What do you have a favorite
Never.
scene? Do you have a favorite
Um,
scene from this movie?
I'm inclined to say the bus ride, but that it almost feels like the lazy answer, but still, like I thought that scene was hilarious because it wasn't like it wasn't like cough cough death death. It wasn't like oh you're people from the past gasp I must run away. No, these were three girls during Halloween who went up to this bus driver who said we need some children, and he responded in the only way a human being would respond to that. Unless they're married or gay or not attracted to any one of them, or just doesn't want to have sex with strangers,
A lot of
or
criteria.
a straight girl, or if he probably thinks he's hallucinating because maybe he thinks they're actually girls from 3 centuries ago. A lot of criteria there. But you know what? We're talking about the majority and not the minority. But
It was a funny
anyway,
line. I agree.
it was hilarious. It and yes, me thinking about it definitely makes it funnier because you have to explain a joke to make it hilarious, of
Is
course.
that right?
That is proven by science.
um, I I don't know if I have a favorite scene. Um, my favorite character was it's a tie between Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker's character. They were both pretty fantastic.
Like the cat.
I like the cat too.
The cat in the petty horny girl.
That's
Kind
the
petty
Sarah Jessica Parker.
petty kind of horny girl. Okay, fine. But yeah,
Uh,
that's her. I don't remember names very well. So
I like her singing on the broom, or well, I guess it was a mop, but I liked her
But yeah,
singing to the children, trying to bring them into. I thought that was a cool scene.
yeah.
A lot of good scenes. Well, first off, what would you rate Hocus Pocus?
Well, I definitely have it in the upper half. Uh, you know, this is definitely one of the movies that I love. It has some 90s cheese. I'm not I'm I'm not gonna judge it harshly for that. I think I'm going to go with your stereotypical rating and go 8.5.
8.5.
That's kind of like your trademark. That might as well be the number of. That might as well be the number on your Bagels jerseys. Just 8.5 everywhere.
Ocho Cinco. Dot Cinco.
I don't know what dot means in Spanish.
I don't know either.
Spanglish.
I don't know either. I mainly only know Ocho Cinco because of Chad Johnson. I remember he would always go by Ocho Cinco instead of 85. Anyways, so well, now I don't want to do 8.5. I'm gonna go with an 8. I think this is a solid 8. Decent movie. I liked it. It was a lot of fun. Is it the best movie? I mean, this isn't like a great movie for movie's sake, but it's a fun movie. It's entertaining. It's enjoyable to watch. You could just put this on every Halloween, eat some popcorn, some candy corn, whatever you want to do. But let me ask you this. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score is for this? And I accidentally just saw it, so I am not going to include myself in this.
Oof, that's gonna be rough, man. Why you gotta do this? This is why we shouldn't have like. Okay, never mind. Because I thought about it for 2 seconds. For the critic score, I'm gonna guess 90, and for the audience, I'm going to guess like 93. Critics 90, audience 93.
Let me say that you are extremely wrong on both. The critic score is at 38%. It is certified rotten. Critics did not like this movie. However, the audience score is 71% certified fresh. So,
At least I'm still closer.
So it is not considered a great movie by critics, but like I said, and I said this earlier, it's not a great movie, but it's fun. It's entertaining. It's one of those comfort movies that you would just watch every year because it's just entertaining. A lot of people who watched this when they were young and they still love it today.
And we don't watch this for Hocus Pocus and magic law. We watch this to see this blonde girl poking her stick against the butt of another person just to be a douche.
Fair enough. All right, so let's get on to the Cinemantra. Do you have a Cinemantra?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. So, all right. So I pulled this one out of my out of the thing, but so for the Cinemantra. Wow, that was a weird way to say it. So we go back 300 years, and this little girl's older brother comes in, and it is not what's his name, the guy who turns into a cat, but it is Scott Pilgrim, who has traveled back in time once more to enact his pilgrimage revenge, not in the times of the Pilgrim, but in the time of like the Crucible, the Salem witch trials, whatever. They're both in the past, so they're both the same. So Scott Pilgrim shows up, and okay, how do events how differently do events play out like this if Scott Pilgrim were to show up instead of the guy who actually did?
He would have had a video game version of a fight between the Sanderson sisters.
Of course that would happen.
And he would win because Scott Pilgrim's oddly really good at fighting. He defeated a vegan with magical vegan powers. You think he can't handle a couple witches? Two of them that are really dumb.
How do you know they're not all vegans?
They are all magical.
I'll give you a 5. I guess I guess I am kind of judging you by not being able to answer a question that I just pulled up out of nowhere. But anyway, yeah, give me yours. You get a 5. Awful person.
All right, my cinemantra is so this movie took place in 2 decades or two times, 1700s and the 1900s. If you could live in if you could go visit any other century in history, what time period and where at would you go?
Well, I know where I wouldn't go. I would not be in ancient Troy during, well, the Troy and the whole
Greek War.
Yeah, the whole Greek War, and I wouldn't be in Germany during the 1940s or during the 1920s for that matter. We tend to make a lot of World War II jokes. We may well want to stop doing that actually. Okay. I would go back to the time when I would actually just go back, I don't know, like 19 or 20 years ago when what was it made? About like 20 or so years ago when the Phantom Menace was about no, about like 1990 something, back when the Phantom Menace was about to be made. I'm going to say either make Anakin Skywalker 5 years older or make Padme 5 years younger.
You're really concerned about that. That is not that big of a deal.
Please,
that is not that big of a deal.
Stop with the
any time in history, and you're just trying to change Star Wars. That's what you want to do. You can go anywhere. You can
give us a more satisfying answer to why he has so many midichlorians. And these insects, they make a little bit of sense, but it's the wrong kind of force. And these tiny little things, can you at least go into more detail about them, or I don't know.
I'm giving you a 1 because I'm very disappointed that you have all of time in history and your big revelation is to change one small little thing about Anakin and Padme's relationship.
This is wrong.
I want to go back in time and make Anakin less of a whiny little bitch, which I think a lot of people would do.
Make him older or make her younger, so that there's not a 5-year difference. Or I do the same with you guys, and I'd go up to Grandma Darla or Grandma Claire, and I'd be like, wait 5 years, or do this 5 years earlier.
Oh, you're gonna complain about me and your mom's age gap too? Oh my gosh.
I mean, I know you're not married anymore, but this is clearly
an issue for you. I feel.
Apparently, yes. Please.
I'm gonna laugh if sometime in the future you start dating someone 5 years different from you.
Well, at least at this point, I can't be dating a 23-year-old at the age of 18 because I'm 19 now. I can be dating a 24-year-old, but 24-year-olds wouldn't be attracted by me. There's nothing attractive about me.
I'm so disappointed in you. You could have said the dinosaurs. You could have gone to see dinosaurs. You could
I
have gone
would
to
not
the
last.
Middle Ages,
Hey, Dad.
1500s. I'm so disappointed. Yeah, you
Just
went
100
20 years
years ago.
ago.
Dad,
Yeah.
just 100 or just 1 or 200 years ago, if a mosquito bit you, you're dead.
Oh my gosh. What if you're just visiting? I don't know.
That's different.
I don't
You
know.
didn't tell me I was visiting.
I said you could either live or visit in that century.
Then I'd go to like the 1960s where they'd and visit like NASA, just specifically inside the space shuttle, and I'd take to the moon, unless they don't have enough
You know,
enough
NASA
supplies
still
for another
exists
person.
and can go places, right?
They don't go places because they just send stuff into the satellite. They don't really go to the moon anymore because
Oh
like
my gosh. Just
that's
plug your pluggables. Let's get out of here.
oh my goodness
I'm
gracious.
so disappointed.
There's what's to be disappointed about?
The NASA one's not as bad. That's not as
I
bad.
don't want malaria.
Oh my gosh.
Malaria sucks.
Fair enough. All right. Well, you can find me at the on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all at Dragon Blazer Productions, and you can find me on the Twitters at Dragon Blazer Pro.
All right, never mind. I'm vaccinated. But wait.
Yeah.
All right. But still, a dinosaur could still kill me.
Fair enough.
Okay. I am Cryokeen Artist at the YouTubes and the Instagrams and the Facebooks, kind of the Facebooks, and also TikTok now, which is a thing that I started doing for some reason. I apparently starting to get some recognition on YouTube. I've posted a video that got 500 views, which
Good start.
it's nothing, but it's something to me. But yay, random people are watching my videos finally, even though it's just like a 1 minute short, which might actually be the reason why it's getting recognition. I don't know. Shorts are weird.
Fair enough. All right. Well, till next time. Auf Wiedersehen.
Au revoir.
I put a spell on you. And now you're mine. You can't stop the things I do. I ain't lying.
No! Don't look at him!
Been 300 years, right down to the day. Now the witch is back, and there's hell to pay. I put a spell on you.
Good joke. Happy Halloween. Thanks a lot. No, man, I'm
And
serious.
now
You got your head in your head. All right. Yeah, cheer up. Let's go, guys.
Hello, sailor. My name's Wilfred. What's yours? I put a spell on you, and now you're gone. My twenty fell on you, and it was strong. Your wretched little lives have all been cursed 'cause of all the witches working, and the worst I put a spell on you, and now you're mine. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? If you don't believe, you better get superstitious.
Mom, Dad, thank God.
Hey, Max, great show.
Cover your ears.
I put a spell on you.
What? Oh,
I put a spell.
Oh, I wish we had the camera.
I say it's goodbye, up or maybe up and die. I say it's goodbye, up or maybe up and die. It's Amatoriama. Hey, hey, I say bye.
Hey everyone, I'm Steven from many different podcasts like Drunk Like Me, Pro Wrestling Apologist, The Rage and Blaze Show, and of course, That Got Dark. So, please like and subscribe